Good day children, welcome to your English class. Today we are going to learn the topic punctuation. Please take page number 119 in your textbook and listen. Before we start, let's try to read this paragraph. Shall we read it together children? Yes. Games help to give us relief from homework, unit test and project work. Games also enable us to spend some time with our friends and family. Outdoor games like cricket, football and basketball help in keeping us healthy, fit and fine. This is how you might have read, right children? So, did we understand anything when we read this? No, right? Now, let's try to read the next slide. Games help to give us relief from homework, unit tests and project work. Games also enable us to spend some time with our friends and family. Outdoor games like cricket, football and basketball help in keeping us healthy, fit and fine. Now you understood the meaning, right? Now we were able to understand what is said in the paragraph, right? So why didn't we understand that when we read? We read the same words in the previous slide, right? But why we didn't understand? Yes, because there were no punctuation. Okay? So we need punctuation in sentences to understand the meaning of the words clearly, right children? Without punctuation, it doesn't give any sense. It doesn't help us to understand it properly. With the punctuation, it is easier for us to understand what is said, right? So let's see what do you mean by punctuation. Punctuation means putting pauses at the right places in sentences to express the meaning clearly and to make it easier to understand. So when there were punctuation, it was easier for us to understand, right? We understood that when we have to stop, when we have to give a slight pause and all, right? So that is why punctuation. And when do we have to put the capital letter? We use the capital letter when we start a sentence, right? So without all these, it is not possible for a person to read it properly. So that is why we say that punctuation is very important. Now let's see which all are punctuations. Full stop, comma, question mark, exclamation mark, apostrophe, inverted commas. These are some of the punctuations. Which all are they children? Full stop, where we put a dot. Then comma, okay, question mark, exclamation mark, apostrophe. We have already learnt about apostrophe in the chapter nouns, right? Nouns, possession, we have learnt about apostrophe. Then inverted commas. Okay, now let's see when do we use full stop, when do we use comma and all. Okay, now first one is uses of comma. When do we use comma? We use comma to separate words in a series. Okay, now here we have list of words, right? So in order to separate these words, we have to use comma. For example, bring potatoes, tomatoes, paneer and chili from the market. So here we have to separate words. We have a list of words and we have to separate it. We can separate it by using the comma. So we put comma for after potatoes, then tomatoes, paneer. When we reach paneer, after paneer only we have one item, that is chili. So there we don't have to put comma, we can write and. Okay, and chili from the market, full stop. Now the kitten was sweet, cute and beautiful. Here also we are giving a list of adjectives, right? Sweet, cute, beautiful. So here also we have to separate it by using the comma. Sweet, comma, cute, and after that only one more word is left, right? One more adjective is left. So here we don't have to put the comma, instead you can write the word and. So in order to separate the words written in a series. Okay. Now the next one is to separate expressions like thank you, yes, well, in fact, however. Okay, when these words come in a sentence, we have to put comma. For example, yes. After yes, you are giving a reply, right? You're giving a response. So after yes, you have to put a comma. So when you see the word yes, after that you have to put a comma. I will go to the market with you. Okay. Now the next one, that's an expression, right, children? Now the next one, the announcement was in fact made by the government. So when the word in fact comes, you have to remember that you have to put a comma after the word, and if the word in fact is placed in the middle of the sentence, in that case you have to put a comma before the word and after the word. Understood, children? If it is placed in the beginning of the sentence, you have to put only after that, but if it is placed in the middle of the sentence, then you have to put a comma before and after the word in fact. Okay. Next one, thank you sir. After thank you, you have to put a comma. Next one, we lost the first match of the tournament, however we managed to win the second. Okay, we lost the first match of the tournament, full stop. However, after the word however, whenever the word however comes in a sentence, after the word however, you have to put a comma. We managed to win the second. So we finished two. That is, one was to separate the words in a series. Second one, when we use expressions in a sentence. Now the third one, to separate the rest of the sentence from the name of the person being spoken to. In short, if there is a name mentioned in the sentence, in that case you have to put a comma before that name. If the sentence starts with a name, then you have to put the comma after the name. Let's look at the example. What are you doing, Soumya? Now here the name is mentioned, right? So here, because the name is mentioned last, you have to put the comma before the name. Understood? But look at this sentence, Jia, please pass me the salt. There the name is mentioned in the beginning. So there you have to put the comma after the name. Okay. So if the name starts in the beginning, if the name is mentioned in the beginning of the sentence, you have to put the comma after the name. If the name is mentioned at the end of the sentence, then you have to put a comma before the name. Okay. Now the next one is to separate group of words in a sentence. If we want to separate a group of words in a sentence, in order to give a slight pause, we have to put a comma. For example, if you work hard, you will win. Now here we need to give a slight pause, because it is a set of words, and in order to separate this set of words, you have to use comma. Because if you work hard, and in order to give a slight pause, okay, if you work hard, you will win. Okay. Next one, the principal of the school, the director and the headmistress were present on the occasion. The principal of the school, comma, the director and the headmistress. So in order to the principal of the school is a group of words, right? So in order to separate the group of words also, you have to put a comma. So you have to put the comma after the group of words. The principal of the school, comma, the director and the headmistress. If there was one more person mentioned in the sentence, then you should have put a comma again. But here we don't have any more, so here it is written and the headmistress were present on the occasion. Now the next one is to separate question tags. Okay, you might have not learnt about question tags. We use question tags in order to confirm the statement said by a person. Okay, that you will learn in your next class. So when you use question tag, there also we use a comma. Okay, he was absent, comma, wasn't he? Now I am saying a sentence that he was absent, and I want to confirm it, so I ask a question to others in order to know whether the people agree or not. So there I use the question tag wasn't he. So before the question tag you have to put a comma. He wasn't crying, comma, was he? See, this is my statement. So before using the question tag, the comma must be used. Okay, so these are the situations in which you have to use comma. Once again I'll repeat, when you use a series of words in a sentence. Next is when you use expressions in a sentence. Third one, when you use name, when you mention a name in the sentence. Fourth one, when you separate group of words in a sentence. And fifth one, when you use a question tag in a sentence. Okay, now the next punctuation that we have to learn is full stop. When do we use full stop? Full stop is very you all know about full stop, isn't it? You know when do we use full stop, isn't it, children? So I know that you all know about full stop. The full stop is used at the end of a statement or command. If it is a command also, then we have to put full stop after the sentence, at the end of the sentence. Hope you remember the first chapter kinds of sentences, statement or command and all, which will come under imperative sentences. Okay, so if it is a statement or command, you have to put a full stop after the sentence, at the end of the sentence. Come here, that is a command, right? So you have to put a full stop after that, okay, at the end of the sentence. English is my favorite subject, that is a statement, I am stating something. So there also you have to put full stop at the end of the sentence. Now the next punctuation mark is question mark. When do we have to put question mark, children? Yes, when we ask a question, right? When we ask a question, we do not put full stop, but we put a question mark. For example, do you like ice cream or chocolates? So that is a question, right? So after the question, always put question mark. Next one, how are you? That is also a question. So you have to put a question mark after that. Okay, at the end of the sentence, you have to put a question mark. Now the fourth punctuation is exclamation mark. You know when do we use exclamation mark, right? Because you have learned kinds of sentences. We learned there when we use exclamatory sentences, we have to put exclamation mark, right? Let's look at the example. What a beautiful dress it is. You know that it is an exclamatory sentence, right? Because it expresses sudden emotions or feelings. So, what a beautiful dress it is. So, that is an exclamatory sentence in which you have to put exclamation mark at the end of the sentence. How pleasant the weather is. This is also an exclamatory sentence. So, there we have to put the exclamation mark. So, exclamation mark should be used at the end of an exclamatory sentence. Now the next one is apostrophe. Hope you remember the chapter nouns position. Okay, we learned there when do we have to use apostrophe, right? When do we use apostrophe, children? Yes, in order to show possession or the ownership, isn't it? So we also learned where do we have to put apostrophe, right? So let's look at that. Mita's bag is lost. So here we have put apostrophe after the name Mita, and we have put S also, we have added S also. We learned that we should put apostrophe if the nouns end with S. If the nouns end with S, we have to put apostrophe after the s. But if the nouns end without s, you have to put apostrophe after the noun and write s, right? So here the noun is Mita, actually Mita. So there we do not, it does not end with s, right? So there we have put apostrophe after the name and added s. Mita's bag is lost. Now here the cat's tail is short. Here also the noun is cat. It is singular. That is why we have written apostrophe s. Okay, because the noun does not end with s. So we can, in order to show possession, we can put apostrophe and add s. Understood, children? So this is the noun here, and here cat is a noun. Okay. Now the next one, the boys' hostel is next to the park. Here the noun is boys. Now here boys is not singular but plural, and it ends with the it ends with s, right? So if s comes, where should we put apostrophe? After s, isn't it? So we have to put the apostrophe after s. Okay, so this is about apostrophe. Now the next one is inverted commas. You might have seen in your stories and all the stories that you read, inverted commas. When do we see inverted commas, children? Yes, when a dialogue is said, right? In order to quote the dialogue, we put inverted commas. We use inverted commas to indicate the exact words spoken by a person. In order to say the exact word, we are not changing any word from the dialogue. So in order to quote the exact dialogue or words spoken by a person, we use inverted commas. For example, Monali said, put a comma after that inverted comma, because we are saying the exact words of what Monali has said. So here we need to put a comma after said and open inverted comma when you begin the sentence. Open inverted comma means this one. This is what you call as open inverted comma. Okay, so I have come first in the race. This is the exact dialogue said by the person. So after the sentence, you have to close the inverted comma. How do you close inverted comma? This one. Okay, this is how you close the dialogue. You have to start the dialogue using open inverted comma and close the sentence by using close inverted comma. Now let's look at the next example. Open page 53 of your book. This is a dialogue said by Mrs. Sen. So what do you have to do, children? You have to put open inverted comma in the beginning, okay, in the beginning of the dialogue, and also close inverted comma at the end of the dialogue. Okay, so these are different punctuations. These are these are the different punctuations that you have to remember. Now one more thing is that is capital letters. You know, when do you have to use capital letter, right, children? When do we use capital letter? Yes, when we begin a sentence, isn't it? Is it only when we begin the sentence? No. For proper nouns also we use capital letter, right? Yes. Now let's see the uses of capital letters. The first letter of the first word in a sentence. As I said, when we begin a sentence, the first letter of the word starts with a capital letter. So the lion is the king of the jungle. See here, the first letter is T, right? So we have to use capital letter there. Okay, we understood that what happens when we do not put capital letter. We didn't understand where we have to stop, where we have to begin, right? So here when we begin a sentence, the first letter of the sentence should be capital. Now the second example, painting is my hobby. This is also a new sentence, so we have to put P in capital, write P in capital. Okay. Now the next one is the first letter of all proper nouns. As I said, proper nouns means a name of a person or a place. Okay, so she lives in Bhopal. Okay, Bhopal is the name of a place, so there we have to put capital letter. Our school will reopen on Monday. When we talk about days, there we have to use capital letter. Okay, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all these words should start with capital letter. My father reads The Statesman. Okay, this is the name of a book, so you have to use capital letter for each word. Okay, in the word the, T should be capital. Statesman, here S should be capital. You might have noticed, just have a look when you read the storybook and all, just have a look at the name of the book or the story. There you can see the beginning letters would be written in the main word, that would be written in capital letter. Next one, Mount Everest is the highest peak in the Himalayas. Mount Everest, M should be capital and E should be capital, isn't it? And Himalayas, H should be capital. So all these are proper nouns, that is why we wrote capital letter. Mount Everest is a proper noun, right? Mount Everest, Himalayas, all these are proper nouns, so that is why we wrote capital letter. Now next one, when we use the pronoun I is always a special case, right? So whenever we use the word I, the pronoun I, there we have to write capital letter. Okay, Meena and I are best friends. We do not write like this, we won't write like this. Okay, you have to put capital letter itself. So Meena and I are best friends. Next one, the important words in the heading of books, movies and stories. Okay, the Ramayana. Okay, here it's a name of a holy book, right? So there we have to put capital letter. Okay, the T should be capital and Ramayana, R should be capital. The Kung Fu Panda. Okay, there also T should be capital, K should be capital and P should be capital. The important words, you have to put capital letter for the important words of the heading. Then the discovery of India, here also you have to put capital letter for T, D and I, because those are the important words, but we didn't put for a preposition. Okay, we do not write for prepositions. Okay children, preposition and we do not use capital letter for preposition. That is why it is said for the main words we have to put capital letter. Next one, every new line of a poem may usually begin with a capital letter. When you write a poem, okay, every new line, most probably it starts with a capital letter. Okay, unless if it is a continuation of the line. Okay, otherwise most of the lines start with a capital letter. For example, these are the lines of a poem. In winter I get up at night and dress by yellow candlelight. So these are two lines of a poem. Okay, see here the lines have started with a capital letter. Okay, so this also you have to keep in mind. Okay children, hope you understood the topic. Your answers will be discussed by the teacher in the Google session. Okay, thank you.